Hello, everyone. So I thought I would give an update on the situation with the male celebrity who was captured on video inappropriately touching and kissing and to be clear, this has not only been confirmed by independent sources, but the girl looks to be about 10, the girl who this happened to. And the perpetrator had dragged his hand across her chest and then kissed her on her face. Anyway, so I also thought I would say quickly that the video that I was made aware of this situation, there's actually two videos of it that were put into one video. Anyway, so there were two different videos from different vantage points that were collected of this situation that are in one video. I'm just going to give you an idea of how horrendous the justice system is. So the police were contacted about this, and the police, when they heard about it, said to contact the juvenile department, I guess it was, and said, the juvenile department said, no, contact CPS about this. So CPS was contacted about this, and CPS said that without a phone number or an address for the perpetrator, the report would be taken, but nothing would be done. They can't look up the information about this public figure, who I'm sure they can easily find that information. I suspect that CPS was tipped off about this situation and there's more going on. Anyway, so nothing was done with that report, apparently, according to the person that was spoken with. There was a follow-up call made to CPS, a second follow-up call, or a follow-up call that was the second call to CPS. The worker said that if the address for the perpetrator is not provided, then the CPS worker or someone else can try to find the address so that the report can be handled. So the second worker gave different information than the first worker. Now, that was a very strange phone call. It did not feel right. So there was a third call to CPS to ask about the process for this, if this report was going to be moving forward, which, by the way, at no point did anyone ever say, this is how you can submit the evidence and the footage of this situation. Nope, they didn't. Horrendous. Anyway, the third worker said, you need the address of the child, not the perpetrator. The first two calls, they said you need the address of the perpetrator, and that's the important thing. No, this third call said you need the address of the child. So what was said to them was, okay, well, on the first two calls to CPS, you all said that what is needed is actually the address of the perpetrator. So what's going on here? And then the third worker on this third call said, oh, that can work too, or something like that. By the way, there are recordings of these calls with the second and third caseworkers, or CPS workers. So those can be provided in a video if necessary. Happy to upload those. I'm not aware of any issue with those. I don't think there's any private information that would need to be redacted in those either. So those can be provided because those recordings were taken in a one-party state, and the state where this happened is also a one-party recording state where you don't need permission from someone to record a call where you're on a call with them. Anyway. Also, just to be clear, I have not had a plan to release the actual video of this happening to the kid, especially because I wouldn't want the victim's identity to come out unnecessarily, and more, I have been talking to my lawyer about what can be released here. So I will hopefully have more clarification on that next week about what can actually be shown, if it's maybe the before of the incident, or maybe it's some of the incident happening but just completely blacking out the figure of the victim. I don't know exactly what can be shown here, and I want to be really respectful to the victim and everyone else. So I'm getting more clarification on that. And if I was to show just even the before and after of this with blacking out the victim, just like even like a screenshot, you guys would know exactly what I'm talking about, which some of you might have figured this out already. Anyway, just what an unbelievable situation. I was crying a lot earlier and very upset. So I'm still very upset. I'm just speechless.